And we are back for another episode of Zero to 100,000 in Real Estate. We've got someone who every time that he walks into the room, I get lit up. I get excited when I see Ozzy. Ozzy, what's going on today, brother?
Not much, man. It's Friday. I'm alive. I'm happy as hell, and that's about where we're at. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Thank you for jumping on here. I know that we're going to get into some pretty cool topics here, but want to give a quick intro. The things that I know is, Ozzy is a leader in our community. He is someone who leads other agents, other human beings. He wants to see the best for everybody. Some of the crazy shit that he's done is, 92 homes in 90 days listed. I don't know too many people that have accomplished that. Sold over 2,000 homes in his career this year, pacing to break 325 in team sales sides. And yeah, man, just let's let everybody know who you are. That's kind of what you've done, but I don't think that that's who you are. And let them in a little bit. Who is Ozzy?
Yeah, if I could break it down, honestly, man, I just love people. I think that's the whole thing about it. Like I just have a genuine love for people, and at every level, whether it's selling real estate or growing teams or helping people accomplish things or volunteering or whatever it is, I just love people. I want to see people win, and whether you're somebody who sinned more than most or whether you're an addict or whatever, like I want you to win. I want to hear about your success story and I want to see you bounce back. And um, that's kind of in a nutshell. I'm a dad. I have an amazing wife who we got pregnant when we were very young and 21 years old, having babies and figuring out life and not having like a really great support structure for me and my end. We learned it as we grew up, and here we are 21 years later. So, and me and my wife are still kicking, four amazing kids. And just like every other parent, I'm trying to figure out, like, am I really screwing up my kids that bad, or, how am I doing here? So that's me. I'm a big time lover of people. I want people to win. Nobody's success will ever take away from mine. The more you win, I win, and we lift up other people. We lift up ourselves, and that's a huge part of my life.
I love it, man. I love it. And diving into the real estate game, what was this like for you? Like, I know where you are today, but how did it start, and what was that trajectory that led you to get you here today? Because I mean, you've accomplished some crazy things here in real estate.
Well, go back to the very beginning. So, I came from the restaurant industry. So I'd managed and waited tables and all that dishwasher. I mean, anything you could imagine from the age 18 to about the age of 24. And I got in the business at 25. And, I was a hard headed person. I got in and I joined that flat fee company. I was a buddy of mine who was like a flat fee and all these different things. And realizing that it wasn't the right place for me. So I quickly figured that out and found another place. Oh, actually, I moved to another place that I figured was right for me, but still flat fee type place. And, I feel like in chasing those type of things, like looking more at flat fees and not paying and all this other stuff, I didn't get any value from a lot of those relationships and I didn't grow as quickly. So I felt like I fell behind really quick to where I should have been as far as my potential. And just truth be known, like when I talk to people, when I tell people, I say, it would be irresponsible to talk about all the success and not talk about the hardship. I think a lot of people, they do that and they're like, you think, like, you look at these people and you think they're almighty human beings or something because what they accomplish. Truth is, they're just regular people who got their ass kicked and kept going. And I lost a house to foreclosure my first year in, and I thought I was going to be just fine, and I came in with about $30,000 saved, and I ran through all of it, and and it was funny. I was wondering if my wife was going to leave me. I'm like, I'm a loser now. What does this look like? And she stuck around, and it's funny, but she during that time she was like, look, you can go back to the restaurants. It's okay. Nobody's gonna fault you. Blah blah blah. And I'm thinking, we just lost our house. Like, it's what how worse can it get? Like, we pretty much, other than people dying financially, we pretty much hit rock bottom. So why would I leave now? Like, I just went through the hard stuff. So I did. It was tough, and I remember got my car repoed on Christmas Eve, and that was fantastic. And it's just learning, and those things are the truth about growth. Those things are the truth about becoming who you are and why you do what you do. And So that was early on in the business, about 2014, well, around 2010, 29, somewhere in there. I got a brokerage license, started my own brokerage, doing my own thing. We started doing really well, but I felt like my business model was broken, and I didn't have examples of what was the next level for a business model. So I actually joined Keller Williams at that point and started learning about teams and things like that. Quickly learned things that I had never seen before. Somebody introduced me to calling FISBOs and expireds. I'm like, what the heck is this? I don't even know what that is. And they give you lists and all these things. And I got a business coach, and she challenged me. And the story, the 2014, in November 2014, I set out on a journey to take 90 listings in 90 days because somebody else had done it or come close to doing it. So pretty much as a solo agent, I just hopped on the phones and I took 92 listings in 90 days. And that was, as much as it was an accomplishment, it was a journey that taught me a lot about the industry. It taught me a lot about me. It taught me a lot about who I wanted to be in this business.
Yep.
And since then, I've been growing. And my biggest asset that I bring to the table is I've just I've had so much adversity, whether it be in life or whether it be in real estate, that when I speak to people, when I talk to people, when I coach, when I train, all these different things, it's not from theory. It's from I've had to go through this stuff. Like I understand the mentality and the process it takes to work through these things we're working through. And I think that's what makes me very, very valuable because I'm hard headed, and a lot of these things I took the hard way. And those are the things I coach from. I coach from like actual practice base. Like I tried this and it didn't work for me. It may work for you, but it whooped my ass. And those are the things I teach people. And I've narrowed it down to some things that really, really work well. And I teach as many people as I possibly can about it.
I want to stay some here for a second because I'm thinking to myself that I'm curious myself, and I'm sure there's people to watching that are going to say the same thing. So 92 and 90 days, we were calling for sale by owners and expireds. What did your day look like? Like, what did each day kind of? I'm sure they kind of look the same. So, what did it look like?
I have a book. I don't know where it's at. It might be in one of these drawers. But I actually, so I was in Keller Williams Bold, and they taught us about this thing called Arch Agent, which was a dialer. I don't think anybody uses Arch Agent anymore, but it was a dialer system that gave you FISBOs and expireds, and you could go and call and terminates and all that stuff. And I wasn't advanced enough to use the dialer, so all I did was every day I went and printed all these damn numbers out. And so I have books that are like this thick, just full of numbers, and every day I would just hand dial, just go through the list and hand dial, write notes, cuss me out. This happened, that happened, and I would just keep on going. Every day I'd do it over and over again. But before I started, I told my wife straight up, I said, "You're going to be a widow for the next like 4 to 6 months because I'm out of here. Like I'm committed to doing something." And she was like, "What are you doing now?" Because she knew me. I'm crazy. I do crazy things. And I said, "I'm going to take 90 listings in 90 days." And she was like, "So what does that mean for me?" And I said, "You're not going to see me for 4 to 6 months. I'm going to knock this out." And I'd be up at the office like 8, 9 o'clock every night. And I don't suggest this or recommend this for anyone. I don't think it's a healthy lifestyle. But I wanted to prove something to myself, and I did. And the next year I had my first $100,000 month. And from then on, it was just game changing. It was like, okay, now we can do different things.
I love it, man. I love it. I love it. And I think that this is kind of the right segue. So, like, purpose of the show, right? Like, there's a lot of new agents who watch the show, even experienced agents that are, maybe they're referral based, and this shift in the market is really shaking them up. Like, they're not used to this. So, if you had to start over today, or you're speaking to a new agent, what would you do to get from 0 to 100,000 as fast as possible?
It's what I teach every single one of my agents is it's habit, skill, pipeline. First, you develop the habit will develop a skill, and the two of those together will develop a pipeline that can feed you for the rest of your life. I find that even the most talented salespeople in the world, they fall short, especially in this industry, because 83% of agents don't make it in the first 2 years or whatever. They fall short because their habits suck.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I got all this business. Oh, what the hell? And then the valleys where they have no business is where they end up quitting, or things get so rough that they just can't manage.
Yeah.
So with habit builds consistency, and that consistency is going to keep you in this business for a long time. So that's what I would teach people is just get into consistent habits of conversation. So this is a real estate. This is real estate is a relationship business. I don't care what anybody says. I think nobody's ever disagreed me with that. It is an absolute relationship business, and the definition is for me is your relationship is the sum of your conversations. All relationships are the sum of conversations. Think about it. If you're in a relationship where you don't talk to each other, you're probably not in a very good relationship. If you're in a relationship where you're not communicating consistently or effectively, it's probably not a very good relationship.
Yeah.
But if you're in a relationship where the conversation is consistent, it's effective, and you've learned how to communicate with each other, it's probably what some of the most healthiest marriages in the world are made of. So if you look at this relationship business and the conversations are what create that, we focus strictly on conversations. You know, text message, email, outgoing phone call, 2 minute plus conversations, and appointments, which are face to face conversations, is all I would tell someone to focus on. If you can consistently have, I would say at least 10 quality conversations every single day, 5 days a week, if not 7 days a week, and you stay in that. So our numbers show that for an agent like to build consistency, it's anywhere between 3 months and 5 months is where they hit the mark. So if you stay consistent with steady conversations, month one and month two, you may not breed any closings or contracts. But if you stay in it, typically between month three and month five, our agents start to rocket. Like it just starts to hit. What I notice is the people that don't stay consistent in their conversations, month three, month four, month five, and month six are the same as month one. They're not very fruitful. So it's about conversations. That's what I would tell people to do is just go have as many meaningful conversations as you can. Go and reach out to people and say, hey, you want to sit down and just have a talk, coffee, or just whatever? I want to learn from you. I want to learn how to serve you. I want to learn what you're looking for in life. You got a business. How can I bring more business to you? And when you just go out and add value to so many people, think about it. If you did that, let's just say simply, let's say 10 people a week. That's it, 10 people a week. I'm not 10 people a day. 10 people a day is what you should be doing, but let's just say 10 a week. I think 52 weeks in a year, knock that down to like, let's just say 50. Really, most people only work like 48, 47 weeks a year, but let's just say 50. At 10 a week, 50 weeks, do the math. That's
500.
500 people. 500 people in a year can change your life. If people don't know you're in real estate or they don't know who you are and they don't have a relationship with you, they can't use you.
Yeah.
But if 500 people a year know you and have a relationship with you and you're good about it, and I mean, being genuine, being caring, actually wanting to help that person and not just trying to have commission breath and me, take, take, take. And I mean, sit down and genuinely care for God's people 500 times a year. There's no doubt in my mind you will be successful.
Yeah.
That's it. But a lot of times, and this is another tip I'd throw on top of that. Too many agents are trying to pre-qualify that conversation for relationship building. This is what they do. Oh, they're not pre-approved.
Yeah.
Oh, their credit's bad. What the hell? Like this is a relationship business. If you wrote off everybody in your life who had bad credit or couldn't get approved for a loan right now, you'd be kind of lonely maybe. I don't know. I don't like there'd be a lot of people that are really good people that you love that you'd have to write off the book.
Yep.
So stop pre-qualifying human beings. It's a relationship. Because here's the deal, James, I met you, and if you end up having like bad credit and all these different things, what the hell does it matter? I know one thing. I know you're God's people. I know that I'm called to serve you. I know that by serving you, I'm serving God. And I also know that if I take care of you well enough and I lift you up and I make you feel important and I help you with the things you need, I'm sure you got a brother, an uncle, a cousin, a mom, a dad, and I can pick up at least 10 people that you have relationships with where you would go and say, there's this guy named Ozzy and he's freaking amazing. He just helps me and he coaches me and he's there for me and he doesn't judge me and he's not looking at my credit score to call me a piece of crap. He cares for me.
Yeah.
And what happens is you create raving fans. And that's the difference. When you have an army of people out there saying, this guy's a badass, you should talk to him, he's really cool, life's going to change for you. Life's going to be better for you. But agents want to pre qualify. That's a bad lead. They're not pre approved. What the hell? What else are you doing? Playing Candy Crush? Like that you're on Facebook doing bullshit that don't matter. Go be with another human being and take care of them and lift them up.
Yep.
If nothing else, I promise you, unless you're heartless, it'll give you that feeling of fulfillment. Like, man, whew, I got energy from that today. That was really good.
Yeah.
That's why I love doing these things. Like I'll do these podcasts and all these things for free all day because for me it's if someone on here, one person, it may be you, it may be somebody in your staff, it may be a cousin, it may be somebody else that watches this video. If one person takes one piece of anything I have to say and puts it to work in their life, I've done God's work today. I'm good.
Yeah.
I know what's going to happen. And if I keep doing that, if I keep doing that over and over and over again, oh man, the blessings are ridiculous. I
Yeah.
know I live it. I live it every day. I live a dream. I never imagined someone like me, where I come from and the way I was brought up, could live a life like this.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
I love that. I love that. And you really slam dunked habit, skill. What about pipeline? What did what are some of the things that are important when it comes to pipeline?
Well, I say pipeline in there because pipeline is a steady flow of business. So there's levels to everything we do, right? So habit is I show up every day, I get on the phones, I call people, I text, I email, I build relationships, I have a conversation. That's your habit. Like just make that your habit. What'll end up happening naturally, and some people say, well, habit every day with bad practice is no good. I don't believe in that. I believe repetition will naturally breed it. Because who's a dumbass that's going to stay in the in the bad conversations?
Yes.
Naturally, I don't, if I swing a bat 1,000 times and you swing it 10, I don't care if you have the greatest coach in the world. My 1,000 will beat your 10.
Yep.
I don't care what anybody says, right? As long as I'm seeing pitches and I'm going to learn, I'm going to naturally progress through the 1,000 swings. And that's basically what I get at with people. That habit will breed a skill. The skill is through the repetition. Those will build a pipeline. Now the pipeline, I add that on there because that's where you actually have clients that now you have to learn, like, how the heck do I show houses?
Yeah.
How the heck do I get them under contract? Now I got to learn contract. Now I got to learn survey. Now I got to learn all these other things. When most companies and most trainings and most coachings, they do it backwards. A lot of brokerages, you join them. Like my people, I tell people, when you join me, forget everything you knew. You got to be willing to say, and I say worse verbiage, but I'm not going to cuss here. I don't know crap about crap. I don't know crap about crap. And then come in here and let's reprogram your mind. Because a lot of these companies, you go in and they have this full calendar of survey, how to read a survey, how to do contracts, title, mortgage, all these different classes, and they inundate you with all this junk. But nobody taught you how to truly build relationships. Nobody taught you how to communicate effectively. Nobody taught you build a habit, damn it. Do it, make it the first thing you do.
Yep.
Because everybody has this crazy mentality. And I'm gonna say it's stupid. And I like people are probably gonna get mad at me when I say this. Fix this crap now. This mentality, and this is what it is when somebody says, well, this is a really big purchase. This is the biggest investment they ever made. So I want to make sure I'm perfect when I do it. I want to make sure I know everything before I do it. You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be the absolute best at it. You're always going to have to get better. This industry, real estate transactions, there's a lot to it. So you might as well just go ahead and get started because you're going to be crappy no matter what.
Yep.
Every one of us starts out crappy, and people are like, I was really good when I started. Bull crap. If you've been in this business 20 years and you go back to day one, unless you're an egotistical, like just an egomaniac, you're gonna say, "Man, I was kind of crappy
Yeah. Yeah.
compared to what I do now. I was pretty crappy at what I was doing." So if you're gonna be crappy, you might as well be crappy fast, so you get to being great faster.
Yep.
So I tell people, so you can spend all those time in those classes and contracts and all that stuff. And what'll happen more than likely is in 6 months you'll be a really educated broke ass person. And that's nobody likes that. That's not fun. It's like being a I tell people there's two sides to the business, right? I don't care if you're a lawyer, I don't care if you're a doctor, I don't care if you're a real estate agent, I don't care what you do. Um, there's two sides of every business. Think about it. If I'm a doctor and I go to all these years of school and I'm top of my class and according to all these practices and things I did, I'm the greatest heart surgeon around, but I don't have anybody to operate on. I'm just a really educated broke ass person. Maybe I can teach other people to do it, but in essence, I'll be teaching people the wrong way because more than if I haven't physically got in and operated people all the time, it's just not going to work as well.
Yeah.
But and so in the business, you have two businesses, right? You have the act of real estate agency, right? Showing houses, writing contracts, negotiating, like all these things that come with being a real estate agent. And then there's two businesses, the real estate agent business and then the lead generation business.
Yes.
So what happens is people try to be great at being a real estate agent, but they have no clients. So I'm like, how is that? Like, you have no money. Like, how are you going to stay in this business? That's why 83% agents don't make it.
Yeah.
You know, there's people that, they'll brag about, I know everything about contracts. Oh, awesome. How many people have you helped with that knowledge this year? Four. Oh, whoa. So what? Like four people. If you, with all that knowledge you have, you should be blessing a lot of people, maybe 50, 100 a year, but you're blessing four.
Yeah.
Like, when is this part-time job going to quit on you? Like, you know, and I talk a lot of trash, man, this industry, and this is going to get me in trouble. I don't care, but you know, we we talk about top producers. I see top producers and they close 10 deals a year in their top producer category. And I'm not trying to take away from anybody, but I mean, we got to stop this participation trophy crap.
Yep.
Like that top producers are, you got to be closing at least 20, 24 deals a year to be a top producer on our team,
Yeah.
right? Basics. And I tell people it starts because you just got to go out there and start serving people. You got to be willing to write the contract before you're any good at it. And Les Brown says it. He says, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Okay, I got that right the first time,
Yeah.
right? And that it's the truth. Just do it. You're going to be horrible when you start. Just be okay with that.
I want to combine one thing with that, and I think that you'll definitely relate to this is yes, you don't know anything. And I think that there is a huge percentage that is waiting to get perfect before they start. But keep in mind here, right? Like if their heart's in the right place, like if you genuinely care about another human being, you have Google. Like
Yeah, you can figure it out.
you can figure that shit out. Like,
So man, this is like the coaching conversation I've had probably more than any is what you were just talking about, right?
yep,
They come to me and they say, "Well," I'm like, "So, how's everything going? How many leads you got? How many buyers you got? How many closings you having?" And they're like, "None." And I'm like, "Okay, great. So, how many conversations you going to have to build the business to get into closings?" And they say, "Well, before I do that, I want to make sure my buyer consultation is perfect. I want to make sure my listing presentation is perfect." And I say, "Cool. When are you going to have that like prepared and ready to go for me?" And they're like, "Give me a week." And a week turns into two, turns into a month, turns
yep,
into a year, and you have this imperfect, not even created crap that nobody did anything with. If you did the opposite, if you just got on the phones and said, "I'm going to develop relationships and get this going," and then I promise you, if you're a brand new agent, you don't know crap about crap, you got on the phones and somebody said, "Yeah, I'll do a buyer consultation with you tomorrow. I'm thinking about buying a home." Between today and tomorrow, you would find a buyer consultation, you would practice it, you would learn it, you'd get probably a mentor like, "Hey, can you do this with me? Because I got to figure this out." And you would shorten that 6 month learning period that everybody thinks it's going to take to get educated into one day
yep,
because now you have purpose. There's a human being on the other side of what you're doing. So what happens is we by getting into action and lead generation consistently up front, you're shortening the time it becomes to become an expert. So if you've ever read the book Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell talks about the 10,000 hours. and the space between a novice and an expert is 10,000 hours. Are you going to take 20 years to become an expert? Or are you going to do it in 2? To me, I want to get in my 10,000 hours immediately, because if I start becoming an expert in year 2 because I put 10,000 hours in the right thing, that means I got the next 18 years to build a fortune.
Yeah.
If I wait and get my 10,000 hours in 20 years, I'll probably die before I ever see my fortune. So get it in quick. That's why I tell people you can go work anywhere and you'll basically get a high school diploma in 10 years getting educated wherever you're going. Here, you get your doctorate in less than 2 years, because we're going to push you into shit that you didn't know you were supposed to do. We're going to make you uncomfortable, and you're going to be forced to do things that are going to teach you and grow your mind very fast.
I
That's the way
love
we operate.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Man, dude, like like just sitting here kind of trying to unpack this for, for me, this all just gets me giddy. But, let's say that someone's on here and like they're fired up, they're motivated, they're going to leave this call. Like, what is one thing that you would tell them to do today? They're going to leave this call. They got the motivation, they got the inspiration. What can we tell them to do right now? Like, as soon as they get off this call, go ahead and do this.
Okay, so I'm gonna package it, because I'm gonna tell people, like, go out there and start having conversations, start having effective conversations, conversations where you pour in people, learn people, get to know them, see what they want, and at the end offer your services, right? But it's more learning them, it's more getting to know them, it's more building a relationship, and then at the end you tie in who you are. Go do that 20 times every single day. Do it 20 times a day, every single day. Add value to other people's lives. That will get you into production probably faster than anything. Now, this is commonly what I hear. Well, I don't want to be salesy, and I don't want to be pushy, and I don't want to bother people. And I want to, immediately I have to fix people's brains in this area.
Yep.
So here's the truth. You feel like you are bothering people because you have no value. Ouch, that hurts, Ozzy.
Yep.
So why don't you value yourself? When you say I'm bothering people, it's because you don't value yourself. You don't believe you bring any value to the conversation. Think about it. And they say, well, I just don't know anything about real estate. Don't give me that crap. Here's the truth. James, who's one of the most important people in your life that if they called you every day, multiple times, you would not get tired, you would welcome it?
My wife.
Your wife, okay? So I don't
She's sitting
know.
in the room too. Throw that out
Okay,
there.
so I don't know. So I don't know your wife. Is she in real estate with you?
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay.
Licensed, and
So
yeah, she manages the
pick
operations.
somebody else that's not in real estate that you would
Oh,
be okay with them calling you every day.
um,
Maybe
first
your
person that
kids
comes to
or
mind. Well, yeah, Braden. Braden does call me. He's 3 years old. He FaceTimes me
okay,
every day. So let's
okay.
go,
There
Braden.
you go. So if your kid was in college and they called you every day while they're away at college, would you absolutely welcome that?
Yes.
But yet your kid has no real estate education or knowledge whatsoever.
Yep.
Okay. So here's the deal is people get confused. Your value is not in your real estate knowledge, your value is in love.
Deep.
So here's the deal. When you first get into business, yeah, you don't know anything about real estate. Yeah, you don't know anything about contracts. But guess what? You have the most powerful value you can offer is love. I'm not calling to get anything from you. I'm calling because I love you and I want to help you there. I don't know what it is. I don't know a lot about real estate. Maybe you need your grass cut. I have no idea. I'm going to bring value today because I love you. So understand that your value is found in love. And when it's found in love and you have true value, when you call people, you're not bothering them. It's when you don't love them and you have no value that you're bothering them. So people need to mentally fix that and say, I love people. I genuinely want people to live. I'm getting on the phone to help people. Therefore, I'm not bothering them. How can I help you today? How can I bring value to you today? When you live in that world, it's easy to get on the phone. I get on the phone and just talk crap to people. It is so much fun when you're just like, you call somebody, even if it isn't expired, like, hey, I'm calling to see if I can help you today. I don't need any help. I don't need to get my house sold. Hey, 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 can I ask you, did I just say anything about selling your house? No. I just called to see if you needed help today. Is there anything that you may need help with? I do have an expertise in real estate, but is there anything you need help with? Well, maybe, well, what is it? I want these agents to stop calling. Perfect. Sign this contract with me. I'll make them stop calling. But that's not what I'm getting at. Most of the time when we get on the phones with people, they're looking for something different. And if they're mad at you, like a lot of times when you call expires, sometimes there's like they've talked to 20 other agents and they get all pissed off. And the first thing is they're like, I don't want an agent. Ah, blah, 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 blah. And I say, hey, I'm not sure who you are upset with, but I know it's not me because I've only been on this call for about 7 seconds with you. So can you explain to me who you're mad at so I can help you kind of get them out of your life? And they're like, what? What are you talking about? Well, I know you're not mad at me because we don't even know each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes they hang up on me and I call back and I say, hey, I'm so sorry. Our phones got disconnected. They say, oh, I hung up. And I say, why would you do that? I'm a really nice person. And they're like, what the hell?
What
And
do
you
I
just
say to
start to,
that?
you just change the conversation. Hey, I don't want nothing from you. I just want to give you something. And I just want to give you value today. What is it? What is it? Would you like me to pray for you? I can do that.
Yeah.
Do you need help with something? I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. I've had a difficult upbringing and I know how to work through things. And I love people and I want you to win. How can I help you win today? And then the conversation changes and people are like, who am I talking to? Dr. Phil? Like, what is this? And I'm just like, no, I'm not Dr. Phil, but I'm just here to help.
Yeah.
I'm Dr. Felipe. I'm just joking. But I'm here to help. I'm just here to help you. So I mean, if you want to take away my opportunity to bless you today and not allow me to help you in whatever way it looks like, that's up to you. But I'm here. Might as well help me help you.
I love that, man, because you can walk out into the day today and change your perspective about what you're trying to do, right? Like what you're really trying to do is help people. It doesn't
That's
matter
it.
if it's real estate. And if you approach it from that way, it's so beautiful. Like
Oh, it's
it's so
fun.
beautiful. Yeah.
It's fun. And when somebody says, I don't need your fucking help, or oh well, I dropped that one. But
It's
people do that sometimes. And I say, okay, I totally get that. I appreciate you getting off the phone with me so quick so I can go bless somebody else today.
yeah.
I get it. That's cool. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go bless somebody. I don't know how, but I'm gonna bless someone. It wasn't you, but I know somebody's gonna accept these blessings. And I'll
Yep.
talk to you later. And sometimes they call back and they're like, what were you talking about? What are these blessings? Where are they? Who are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
This is different.
I love it, man. Hey guys, we're gonna probably wrap up here in a few. I see that we got a few people on. I want to say hi to Melissa. She always jumps on. And if anybody has any questions for Ozzy, that's one of the most fun things about doing a show like this live is where like we can really create concrete with this. If you have any questions you want to drop in here, drop them right here in the comments. We'll pull them up. I'll pull them up on the screen, get them answered. But man, I want to like segue out of there while they come up with that. I know that your visions are large, and that's one of the reasons I love being around you. What do you see next? Like what's the big thing that you're working towards right now, and things that you're trying to figure out for yourself?
So, the vision was always community. The vision was always creating a culture and a community that we would be proud to spread to the ends of the earth.
Yeah,
And that's kind of always been the thing. So um I know our culture is so amazing that it's a damn shame when the other agents, other human beings don't get to experience it. So now it's just opening the doors and saying, come in and experience something you never experienced before. Experience something different. The win and the learn just now before I left, we had like three people that were crying this morning and they were saying, this is the greatest business family I've ever been a part of. The things you guys teach us change our lives. Because a lot of the lessons I teach aren't like I teach people you are not going to solve your life problems with business and money, but you will solve your business and life, but like your business and money problems by fixing your life. When you become a more whole human being, when you learn how to serve your wife better, when you learn how to serve your kids better, when you learn how to be better spiritually, like business will naturally follow. People get that twisted and say, well, if I only made this much money, life would be better. No, 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 no. You'll still be the same piece of crap you were, right? Until you learn to fix yourself. So like I was we're coaching on things yesterday and I said, most of you have problems here because you haven't fixed your home life and you don't like your relationship with your kids. You haven't learned to get the most out of them. You haven't learned to have the best relationship with them. When you can fix that relationship with your kids, it'll show up in work. And one of the ladies, she was just like, "What you talked to me yesterday about how I should be coaching my kids and working with my kids," she goes, "It's absolutely right. I let them run all over me, and it happens showing up here in work, and I'm fixing it." And I'm like, "Let me coach you through that. Let me help you through that as much as I possibly can." Like I give them little things like, fix the way you ask questions. So when you go home, stop asking your significant other. And this is a John Maxwell thing. Instead of asking them, "How was your day?" That's a loaded ass question at 5 o'clock when you're all out of energy, right? It is. You're going to catch all the crap. "Well, it was horrible. You know what this chick said to me," and blah 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 blah, and all, you're going to get like the garbage most of the time. But if you start asking them, what you love about today? What'd you learn about today? What happens is you begin programming their mind to go and seek these things out. And biblically speaking, which I'm not the Bible thumper or anything, but biblically speaking is what you seek you shall find. So if you're looking for things that you love about today, you're naturally going to be happier because you're looking for things to love.
Yeah.
And when you're looking for things to learn about, you're naturally going to seek education. You're going to learn. You're going to grow. So both of those things are good. So if every day when we get home, I ask you, "James, what'd you love about today? What'd you learn about today?" We do it for the next 3 months,
Yep.
90 days. Eventually, you will start reporting to me without asking, and eventually, you will go through the day looking for those things, and you will naturally be a happier human being. Just like gratitude, I teach my people every single day before we start our meetings. We start with gratitude. What are you grateful about today? We do not get started until I get three gratitudes or bucket fillers. That's it. Every single day. If you can't be grateful for what you got, like God ain't going to give you much more because you're not ready for it. So like every day I talk about like we're blessed. Like I say this, and I know you're not from Texas, but I'm like we are. I would my family. No lie came across the border, right? I'm not saying we did it the right way or whatever, but shit, I don't care. I'm here, right? I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, right? And I thank God my family made that decision to take us from where we were to here.
Yeah.
And I was blessed to be born in the United States of America, which is the greatest country in the world, arguably. And I was blessed to be born in Texas, which I don't care which state is the greatest state in the United States of America. And Houston, Texas is the greatest city in Texas. So automatically, by the time I wake up, I'm top 1% in the world. I'm blessed more than anybody I'll ever meet.
Yeah.
So what the hell do I got to complain about? I live a dream every single day. So the way I see it is if God gave me a head start, I better do something with it.
Yeah. I love this. I love this, man. Hey, brother. I don't like you always bring it every time. Like it never stops. Like I was jumping in. It was in my team Slack. It was on my group messenger. Like I was throwing everyone. Like y'all got to hear this guy. Like you got to do it. I want you to know that you're a special human being, and you always come with it, man. Like you are just a pleasure to be around. You uplift the people around you. I hope you know that, right? Like you deserve to know that you're a very special human being, and you really do light the room and bring the world. You make the world a better place, man.
I'm gonna tell a story that I have to tell. So I was raised by a redheaded Irish woman. She volunteered to be my mom. And so when she was passing, I was 17. I came home. I found her. She had passed away in our house. And from 17 to 21, man, I was living in the streets. I was causing problems. I was a complete knucklehead. And around 21, when I met my wife, and she was dragging me to church because I didn't believe in all that stuff, right? Um, it kind of kicked off, and I began to realize like God didn't take my mom at 17. He gave me 17 years with an angel who volunteered to be my mom. And when that started happening, like my life started changing. So in this right here, like I tell people when I share my testimony or when I lift people up, when I go out there, it's an analogy for me that, when my mom was passing, I was in and out of jail. I won't lie to you. I was a troublemaker. And my brother told me, he said, "Mom's dying and you're a piece of basically that's what he said to me. He goes, "I hope you're happy." And but when I turned 21 and I met my wife and all those things, I created this analogy where some days I was like glitter, and some days she could see me from heaven, and some days she couldn't. And then I realized the only way I could really make it up to her, the only way I could show her like that she wasn't a mistake in my life, and like I was purposeful of being in her life too, like God made that happen for a reason, is I have to go out there and help as many people as I possibly can. Whether it's real estate, whether it's love, whether it's coaching them through things, whether it's just being there, sometimes a smile, a hug, or a handshake. But everybody that I share this with, like you are my blessing because now Whether you like it or not, you shine my light. And I know that if I keep doing this, like we can push this to the ends of the earth. I can impact so many people that they'll all shine my light and will blind my mom from heaven. And that's why I do what I do every day.
That's
I
powerful.
got a lot of making up to do.
We all do. We all do. Man, brother, I love you, man. I appreciate you sharing that with me and sharing that with everybody right here.
Y'all are a blessing to me. 100%. And I appreciate you giving me anybody that'll listen to 2 words I have to say is a blessing to me. And I appreciate it.
Hell yeah, brother. Hey, man, I think we're going to wrap it on that. I think that's enough for people to take with and understand that they all have struggles and things they go with. Thank you so much for your time, dude, your words, everything. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, boss, man. You have a good one. Go out there and help people, man, as many as you can.
You know it.
Talk to you later, boss. Thank you.